Here are 10 disturbing and scary facts you didn't know. On October 9th, 1976, a small town in Ireland had an unusual fog sweep in around 7 p.m. Many people were scared and locked up their houses. The fog disappeared by morning. There were over 60 reported sightings of the undead that night. Police believed most of them were pranks. Strangely, the police found the local graveyard had all the graves dug up. This is a huge mystery in all of Europe, and was famous in the 70s. In 1724, Margaret Dixon was hanged, but was later found still alive. She was then allowed to go free because under Scots law, her punishment had been carried out, and she could not be executed for a second time for the same crime. Only later were the words, "until dead," added to the sentence of hanging. Residents in Toraja, Indonesia, take their deceased loved ones out of their graves once a year to celebrate their lives. These are the mugshots of William West and William West, and they're not related. They were both sent to Leavenworth Prison at the same time in 1903, and after some confusion, the staff understood that there were two different prisoners with the exact same name who looked exactly alike. They are a big part of the reason why fingerprints are now used as identification. During World War II, an American plane crashed on Chichijima, a Japanese island. There were 9 men on board, 8 of whom were captured and eaten. The one who was rescued was George Walker Bush. A 58-year-old man living alone in Japan started hearing strange noises at night and noticing things out of place in his house. He installed video cameras and discovered that a homeless woman had been living in his attic and cupboards for almost a year, undetected. It gets creepier. The way he found out about the woman was when he sat down in his living room to review the tapes and saw the woman climbing into a cupboard and closing the door. The cupboard was right next to where he was sitting. Until 2004, it was assumed that the giant squid was just a myth. This goes to show that there are likely a handful of sea monsters that still may be roaming the depths, waiting to be discovered. In 2012, 2 quantum physicists, Dr. Serge Haroche and Dr. David Wineland, received the Nobel Prize for their experiments, which showed that a particle can be at 2 locations at the same time. These experiments indirectly showed that parallel universes do exist. Julia is a sound recorded on March 1st, 1999, by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. NOAA said the source of the sound was most likely a large iceberg that had run aground off Antarctica. However, pictures from NASA's Apollo 33A5 show a large shadow swaying through the southwest section of Cape Cadre at the same time as the recorded sound. Although still classified, the pictures apparently provide information that this unknown shadow is 2 times larger than the Empire State Building. Edgar Allan Poe predicted the future. His only novel is about 4 shipwrecked men who run out of food and eat the cabin boy, Richard Parker. 46 years after it was published, a yacht sank in real life, and 3 of the 4 survivors also decided to eat the cabin boy, named Richard Parker.